The Florida Theater is hosting not one, but two multi-platinum artists on March 30th. Millennials, this is not a drill. Now, real quick, I am just going to ask you to cover your ears so we can do a sound check. Oh my God, Joey and AJ are coming to the 904! I'm now going to contain myself and be a professional, and I am going to toss it to an icon of our childhood. Oh my gosh, AJ and Joey coming to the stage. Now, we are so excited that you guys are going to be joining us here in the 904. I hope you're half as excited as I am.
I am over the moon excited. 904, like I've never even heard that area code before. I'm like, listen, 904.
The 904. Listen, Jacksonville is actually pretty cool, and that's what we go by as the 904. So, AJ, we are really excited to be able to host you here. Now, obviously, there is so much nostalgia that is going to be brought to the stage when you guys join us here on the 30th. So, first of all, I have to understand, how did this come about? You guys have done a few of these shows, joined forces, and they were really well received. But how did this come about in the first place?
Okay, so it basically, this whole kind of idea started, I want to say almost 2 years ago now, a little over 2 years ago. Myself, Joey, my bandmate Nick, and Wanye from Boyz II Men, we did a show in Las Vegas called The After Party, which was essentially the four of us singing each other's songs, our biggest hits, and sprinkle in a couple of covers, and just an all-around fun show. And that then spawned into, Joey's also been doing his own thing over the last few years called Joey and Friends, where he just travels around and does a bunch of shows and brings out some of his friends from different bands, from different genres. And so Joey and I talked in length after we did the after party about what if him and I took this thing on the road and created a show that was similar but different. And we've done now two versions of this show. We did one at Formula One in Las Vegas, and we did one in Tampa a few months back. And both were just insanely well received. People loved it. The show is very unique. I kind of describe it as almost like a Vegas review, in the sense that there's comedy, there's music, there's interaction, there's crowd participation. It's very in your face, and you will definitely go down memory lane. We have a lot of surprises for the fans. I don't want to give anything away, but the show is roughly just under 2 hours of just nonstop fun, party, great music, as well as I will be premiering 3 solo records off of my upcoming EP. The single, which is coming out in 2 days, as well as 2 new songs off of the EP. So I'm excited. Joey's excited. We're excited. The fans are excited, and we cannot wait.
What do you feel like that reconnection with the fans is going to be like as you continue to do these shows? Because, I mean, the two of you combined, I mean, it was like the Beatles. I remember that time in my life. I remember seeing you perform live as a girl with my sisters. My mom took us. It was, like the one concert I went to, and we made sure that we made straight A's to go get to see you. Seeing everyone's reaction.
Good idea.
Yeah, so seeing everyone's reaction to you was such a nostalgic moment for me. It was something that really brought everyone together, and music continues to bring people together just to enjoy a moment we all remember. So how does that make you feel, like, in addition to obviously getting back on stage, hanging out with, people that you've known your whole life, but also those fans that you've known your whole life?
I mean, honestly, we say this about our shows as well as about this show, and I would bet good money Joey feels the same. Doing shows like this, being in bands that we are in, and being the performers that we are with the catalogs that we have, for that hour and a half or 2 hours a night, as a fan, you get to come to a show and just kind of leave everything at home, whatever it is. If you had a bad day at the job, if you're feeling bummed out, or you just want to go have a good night with your girls or with your man, or as a couple, you know, whether it's a couple guys, couple girls, the show is for everyone. You know, to just kind of forget about everything and just have fun. And there is something for everyone in this show, whether it's us doing our you know, band songs back and forth, or it's some of the covers that we do, taking you back to, in my opinion, one of the best generations of music ever. I'm a huge 80s kid, but the 90s were an amazing time for music. You know, whether it was TLC, whether it was us, NSYNC, Britney, Christina, you name it, Bon Jovi, you know, the list goes on. Green Day, Blink-182, it's a laundry list. And we do a lot of these artists in this show to take people. And, you know, also that being said, not a lot of fans have seen, for example, me singing Nirvana.
Right.
You know, and that's something that we do our own take on. Smells Like Teen Spirit. You know, Joey's not the biggest fan of it because he sings the chorus and it's really high. I'm like, you got that part. I'm not doing that part. You got that part. I'll do the verses. You do the chorus. So I don't sound like, you know, a bag of cats. But honestly, this show just really makes people feel good. The response so far, and just seeing what the fans have said about the few shows that we've done thus far, they're like, man, that took me back. That was so much fun. I can't wait to see it again. And we also, by having a band, we have the ability to change the show night to night. So fans could come see 2 or 3 shows and you may not see the same show, which is also the kind of upside to having a live band and being able to kind of have the freedom to make this show whatever we're feeling that night. We might take a song out and replace it with something else. We might try one little shtick compared to the night before and just keep it fresh, keep it fun, and we're stoked. We cannot wait. Fans are not ready. If you've not seen the show yet, you're in for a heck of a night.
I really can't wait. We've already marked our calendars. I know that everyone is, like you said, beyond stoked, so excited to just step back into that. Now, I have to ask, was there any like controversy? Were people surprised? Because back in the day, you as a girl, especially, you were in one of 2 camps. You were in NSYNC camp or you were a Backstreet Boy camp, and whatever t-shirt you wore, that was who you stood for. And so, I mean, was this fun to kind of break some of that invisible barrier and just bring the 90s back to life for everyone?
Yeah, I mean, look, you know, I personally have been really close with those 5 guys, some of them more than others over the years. Joey and I especially, and Lance and I especially, have been probably the closest over the last years. And, you know, Joey and I have a lot in common. We have a lot of similar outlooks on music and musicality and showmanship. We're both hams. We both love to be up there and just have fun and let loose and kind of leave our inhibitions backstage and just put on the best possible performance we can. And we do really feed off of each other's energy, which is something that, you know, not to say that that wouldn't be the same if it was me and Lance or me and Chris or me and Justin or me and JC, but there is something about Joey and I's bond that is very unique. And we are kind of 2 peas in a pod, if you will. You know, very similar personalities, and we're both goofballs, and we both just love to put on a great show. We have fun, and you could see it. You could see it during the show that we are truly enjoying each other up on stage. And we're strictly doing this not for us. We're doing this for the fans. This whole thing was created for the fans as like a bridge, you know, between whatever NSYNC's going to do in the future, whatever Backstreet's going to do in the future. You know, this is just some unique way for us to kind of come together and just have fun. And good music makes people feel good. And that's what this whole thing's about.
Yeah, and everyone is going to feel so good, I know, after walking out of the doors of the Florida Theater. Now, before you go, I have to be a nosy journalist and ask, when you look back on that kind of surge that you all experienced, What was that like? Like, do you ever kind of just have a surreal look back moment when you're watching some of this footage that I know will, pull for these interviews, and that you're seeing, like, now that everyone's having these conversations about this new show, this new phase of your life, but, how does that make you feel knowing that this was the kind of impact you had on lives all across the world?
I mean, honestly, I just turned 46 2 weeks ago, and I still pinch myself. I honestly do. And something that I've been doing for probably the past 10 years, pretty religiously, at least once a day, I will go on YouTube and I will look up old footage of us and just kind of reminisce. And it's also really fun to share this 30-year career with my daughters.
Yeah.
Being able to show them, this is where daddy was, this is what daddy did, this is when daddy fell off the stage, or this is when daddy got this award, or when, this is when daddy did an impromptu concert for 48,000 people in Brazil that just happened, apropos of nothing. This has been such an incredible ride, and it's nowhere near done. Especially for us, we have some amazing things coming up in the future. And, this 2024 is kind of our time. We just finished the DNA tour this past May, and, it took us 4 years because of COVID, unfortunately, but we took that tour all over the world, in some places twice. And now it's kind of everyone's time to do their own thing. So, I'm finally able to do a solo project that I've been waiting on for decades to do. And that's exciting, as well as getting to do something unique like this with someone who I do truly call a dear, dear friend. Joey and I are truly, like I said, two peas in a pod. We think the same, we act the same. Heck, we even dress the same sometimes with the, mishmatch crazy. But honestly, to know that our music, and even NSYNC's music, has stood the test of time for as long as it has, is a testament to the music, and it's a testament to, most importantly, the fans. The fans are so loyal and so loving and so nurturing that they are the reason why we still do what we do, and most importantly, why we love what we do. It wouldn't be as enjoyable if the fans were not so amazing. I mean, that's just, we all have the best fans in the world. So, from all over the world. So it's going to be fantastic to see probably a lot of familiar faces, and hopefully a bunch of new faces that are curious, that want to come see the show.
Absolutely. I know that I am ready to dig out my T-shirt. I think my mom bought me a 2XL when I was, a teenager. So hopefully I've grown into it by now. Maybe, hopefully not. So I'll get to pull that out again. I can't wait. Like I said, the 904, now that you are informed, you're in the loop, you know that everyone's going to be waiting for you with open arms. I predict a lot of screaming, a lot of fainting. Don't worry, we will be prepared for you. But we're so excited to have you, and we're just excited to support you not only in this tour, but also with your new EP. We're really excited to hear that project.
The question I have is, when you say that you're going to bring out your shirt, which band are you going to bring out? That's the question.
So mine's a Backstreet Boys shirt.
Well, you know what? I saw a fan at our show in Tampa.
You know what? I'll be honest with you. It didn't come from the merch section. Those prices were aggressive for my mom at the time. But whoever sold it to me out of the trunk of his car, appreciate that.
Well, hey, no, you know what? I'll say this before we go. There was a young lady at our show in Tampa who had a Backstreet Boy T-shirt on, and then halfway through the show, took that shirt off, and underneath that shirt was an NSYNC shirt. So you can have the best of both worlds.
See, that's great. Now this is the merch we all needed. We just needed like a front and a back, and I guess you guys can rock paper scissors for who gets the front and the back.
Yeah, exactly.
Make it a tube top, and we'll just swirl it around like halfway through the show. Listen, she's got the right idea.
Perfect. Awesome.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Again, guys, this is happening right here at the Florida Theater. You can get your tickets online or by calling the box office. You will not want to miss this. AJ, thank you so much for spending the morning with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Of course. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Bye.